Welcome, Yachi.
Thank you.
Yeah, great to have Robert here. I know, it's been a very hectic week for you. Robert, can you do a quick self-intro?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been with AltLayer Foundation, kind of co-founding the foundation itself, and I'm CEO there now. And just for myself, prior to this, I was working for the last 6 years at Consensus, heading up R&D labs, also research partner at Ethereal Ventures during that time. And prior to that, for anybody here who's worked in Web 2, I worked in Web 2 for a long time on the infrastructure side. So data centers, clouds, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I believe right now, Eigen already sort of launched Midnight, and there are a bunch of successful EVSs running on top of Eigen, right? Also, Eigen recently launched the tokens. So how about what's the next step for Eigen, especially from your perspective on Eigen Foundation and overall this roadmap for Eigen?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody here is interested or has relevance to thinking about the foundation side. If you're a founder in a protocol, it sort of is hard to not eventually have a foundation. The point of crypto is to decentralize. And so, when you are thinking about a foundation, anybody's doing it sooner than later, come up and talk with me after the panel. You got to kind of ask yourself why you're doing it, because foundations can be very disruptive. They take the team, they split it in two places, everything else. It has a lot of good benefits for decentralizing, going global, especially if you started in the US. So it's good for regulation, taxes, that kind of stuff. But beyond that, I think it's really important if you're ever going to want to kind of move to having a DAO and having the community actually run things, then a foundation is kind of a necessary step. So that's sort of our big mission. The other side is we were entrusted with roughly half of the token supply for Eigen. And so, for people who are looking at the space, we're doing a tremendous amount of, high ROI grant programs. So those are the main things we're doing. But to answer YQ's question fully, let's see if I can run the whole clock out on one question. The thing that we're doing in the protocol is EigenLayer. How many people here are familiar with EigenLayer? Just trying to decide how much. Okay, how many people here are familiar with Ethereum? We have people here who are not familiar with Ethereum? Is this really true? Okay, all right, we've got to take her. Okay, so does everybody know how Ethereum generalized Bitcoin by adding a database and a Turing complete execution machine? So that was a big step up from Bitcoin to Ethereum. But if Ethereum only went part of the way, because the only way to run inside of Ethereum was to write Solidity code, compile it to the EVM, and run within the limitations of a 12-second clock tick, if you want to call it, blockchain, and with extremely expensive gas, everything else. I'm not sure if everybody goes down this far, but if you happen to know about it, Ethereum, Bitcoin, all of those things, what they really are, because software doesn't run itself. In the end, the dirty secret of computing is that software runs on hardware. So the hardware that actually runs all of these blockchain things are decentralized peer-to-peer networks, where the reason the networks of participants running these peer-to-peer node softwares, you run Ethereum nodes, Bitcoin nodes, whatever, the reason you behave the right way, even though nobody signed up or vetted your reputation or anything else, is because you stake real value, real money. You stake Ethereum in them. Okay. Bitcoin, you stake the energy you spend, but it's an analogy. But for Ethereum, you stake real money, you stake ETH, and you lose it if you do the wrong thing. So the core thing in decentralization below writing smart contracts is actually writing the protocol and the software, typically in Rust or Go, and then having a decentralized network. That's what all rollups, once they decentralize, dirty secret of rollups, most of them are not decentralized yet, but they're moving there. You actually run these node networks. So EigenLayer's, kind of mission in life, if you want to call it, is to do the next phase, as audacious as it sounds, Bitcoin, Ethereum, EigenLayer. The only thing is that EigenLayer, unlike a lot of other L1 chains that accumulate all their value in the token, in the EigenLayer ecosystem, if you're building a protocol, if you're YQ, our friend up here, you actually get to keep all your value because we don't run a chain. We don't do lots of fancy things. We just connect you with the right security model so you can easily run decentralized new peer-to-peer networks in a snap compared to what it took before. We bring the validators, we bring the stakes, we bring the hooks for doing the incentivization, slashing, and the benefit model. And that's the value. So if I wanted to say what the foundation's doing is we are supporting making that vision a reality.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I would say like for the past few months, I had a lot of chats with Robert. I just feel like Robert's really.
I dare say we're good friends now.
Yes. So he has a lot of energy. It's almost a 24/7. Every time I ping Robert always online, and basically we had a lot of these fun conversation on basically what kind of new AVSs we can build and what kind of new services we can basically empower by Eigen. And probably you can share a little bit more like what kind of new AVSs you envision for the next probably few years we can have around Eigen.
Yeah, I mean, probably one of the most important classes is what AltLayer is building, which is having really effective ability to create new rollups and to have very fast finality, to have a lot of services attached. YQ fully gets this vision, which is, I think, part of the reason we can be friends. I'm not totally economic. I like you as a person, but you're really good in terms of economics and smarts too. So who here, I'm going to ask another raising hands. Who here has heard the term middleware? Okay. Oh, that's awesome. All right. Middleware, now known as Kubernetes, Kubernetes orchestrators. So, when you run an application on the internet, you're on your thing, having fun, playing whatever it is now. I don't know what's the new game versus, what was that one called? Candy Crush? Yeah, whatever. People are having fun with now. So you're running it and you're like, okay, I'm running this app. This app is what I'm running. Actually, apps like that, often if they're a network type game and if they have databases, permission, everything, very little is run by those people. Like 99% of the code is spread across 20 or 30 middleware applications, and they bring almost everything that the developer wants to do. They build a software stack. And a person grabs a framework, they get the whole software stack, they add their little magic, and then they make millions of dollars, at least in crypto. I'm joking. No financial advice here. The reason why YQ is asking me this question is because the value of EigenLayer, like abstractly, theoretically, cerebrally, yeah, it's exciting to have a security marketplace. On Ethereum, you don't get to choose your security. It's whatever the consensus algorithm told you. On EigenLayer, it's sort of like Airbnb. It's unlocked the liquidity that was trapped in L1s and trapped in other, people's token protocols, makes it all extremely fluid, turns it into an amazing marketplace. But, all of that would have no function unless it did something real and valuable. So what it's actually enabling is people to build a lot of these exciting middleware applications. So you ask, what is middleware and blockchain? Maybe you haven't heard that term before. If you squint at it, basically everything's middleware and blockchain. I mean, middleware is software that supports other software. Okay. Or you could say like there's hardware beneath it, but let's forget about that infrastructure as a service. In the middle, most interesting, juicy, highest value part is all of this software, which is like a special kind of software as a service called platform as a service because it services other software. That kind of software makes other people be able to write better software. So you look at like ZK coprocessors, you look at bridges, you look at fast sequencers, you look at oracles, you look at data stores, databases, you look at, proof of personhood protocols, proof of machine, proof of geography. Like I would say if someone was like, what are the exciting AVSs? There's ones that are probably more of the early ones, but I mean, this is a long sequence. I think there are hundreds of amazing opportunities to go from building a protocol and creating a whole new community to building on EigenLayer, which is kind of, it's very light to say building on EigenLayer. You take an SDK that allows you to interface to the peer-to-peer node of decentralized validators and security we bring in. You define a couple of your slashing conditions that you're going to be able to show and your incentive conditions. But you're really like you're building before a protocol. It's just that EigenLayer is a security middleware service, basically. And then you go from there. So, I would say, like, pessimistically, there's hundreds of AVSs that are really interesting. More likely, just looking at the current SaaS market and knowing that in decentralization, we're unlocking a whole new space of computer science and coordination. There are probably thousands of people that are going to have amazing outcomes building protocols in decentralization. And my view, my very opinionated view, is that probably the best way to have a great outcome when you're building a protocol is to use the EigenLayer model. Both you get the EigenLayer shared security middleware and you get other people's amazing middleware. And YQ is even integrating a whole bunch of middleware for you in something called AVS as a service. AVS stands for either one of two things: actively validated service. So you have peer-to-peer nodes that are being validated, they're doing the right things. It has a second meaning, which I kind of like better sometimes, which is autonomously verified service. So you don't have to actually manage it. You're able to say, hey, this protocol verifies itself as it goes. It verifies itself through ZK where it can, and otherwise it verifies itself with a high cost of corruption, or let's say a properly sized economic cost of corruption that matches the kind of security it needs.
Whoa, that's a really long sort of description on this. And recently I found out it's sort of like Eigen has been powering, I believe, over 100 AVS, right? Either like sort of already on mainnet and also on testnet. And when like sort of Robert, I mean, you've done very successful work on basically making it possible. Like, do you foresee like sort of any sort of challenges in the future when we want to onboard probably another dozen AVSs on Eigen? Yeah, so what are the challenges and probably blockers we can help together to address them? Yeah.
I think on the blockchain side, like in my mind, the super secret master plan for EigenLayer has 3 phases. And the first phase is to massively accelerate the open innovation of blockchain protocols, like straight up blockchain. We want to just make blockchain grow faster with more exciting things than it's ever done before. And that's really exciting, but that's actually the small phase. The much bigger second phase is moving all of technology onto crypto rails. So crypto security, crypto trust, crypto settlement. And when I say all, I mean anything that's running in the public cloud now, can and should, and I believe will, be running on the crypto-enabled decentralized cloud. The short way I put it when I'm talking to people who don't know crypto is I just say, we all agree the internet is broken and crypto will fix the internet, just full stop. And anybody wants, come and challenge me with a case where you don't think that happens. I've never had somebody ask me a question I can't answer of how crypto will fix that problem. So my daughter humors at that, how I think blockchain will fix everything. The third phase, a little more abstract, but outside of blockchain, there's this whole other exciting world, which some of us call the real world. We occasionally go to it when we're bored of the virtual world. Happy to see everybody here in the real world. So that's great. But the real world has massive coordination problems too. It's falling apart. I'm starting to sound like Trump. It's terrible, all of these problems. But crypto can fix that. And at EigenLayer, we have this concept of something called intersubjective security, intersubjective forking. It abstracts and makes general the idea of layer 1 forking. By doing that, it enables any shared belief off-chain to be projected on-chain. So it allows essentially any human coordination method to have a crypto settlement layer to it. That's the biggest phase.
And so the last question I will have is like, okay, so from now on, for the next 5 years, assume after 5 years, how you expect EigenLayer to achieve? Well,
we're going to be heads down, working our butts off. I I think we will achieve great things. When you ask how much we're going to achieve, there's a massive external environment that's going to really control how much all of us are achieving. So we got to kind of surf the waves. We're about to just like jump onto a 100-foot wave right now. So everybody get ready to surf because, with the elections and everything else, it's going to be a very strong, probably, period of time for crypto. But let's just, build a lot. There are people like Sriram, the founder of our protocol, who he just thinks in mathematical symbols. He just thinks in information theory. He thinks in like crypto economic philosophy. Let him specialize. We'll do that. And then for the rest of the stuff and what we're going to build, I would say we're going to build a huge community of people who build the most amazing, valuable stuff and support them. I don't actually know that we have to build everything. We just have to do what we're bringing to the community of people who trust EigenLayer with, their protocols. We just have to bring what they need.
That's amazing. As like sort of topic, right? Let's shape the Ethereum future together. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
thank
absolutely.
you, Robert, and thanks
Thank you.
everyone.
I saw a lot of people watching the whole time, so I appreciate your attention.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Yao-Chi. And I believe Robert is going to join us again on the modularity panel. No, after the next one.
Oh, okay, good.
Thank you. So now we will have Momir, investment at IOSG, and our old friend Gökhan to talk. Let's hear what they will talk about on their Fireside Chat.